The Alien War Council had made its choice. No one would attack the human warship, not yet, but they would send a new team, small, quiet crew. Their job: board the ship, study it, and learn the truth. Captain Varn of the Drexian Guard was chosen. He was a cold, logical alien with 4 eyes and skin like dark stone. His crew of 5 was trained for silent operations. No fear, no emotion, just orders. Their ship, the Whisper, left Zarkith Prime in silence. It moved fast, staying hidden in the darkness of space. As they approached the human warship, every sensor on the Whisper began to fail. Gravity field, changing, static in the comms. Scanner blind. Varn narrowed his eyes. It knows we're here. Close. The human ship looked even more terrifying. It was massive, like a floating city made of black steel. Its surface had scars and burns, as if it had already survived battles, but no weapons were visible. No windows, no lights, just a name. Written in an old Earth language, HSSR Reviange, the Drexians landed their small shuttle on the surface. A strange docking bay opened on its own, as if the ship invited them in. "This is a trap," whispered one crew member. Captain Varn answered, or a warning. They entered inside. It was cold and dark, but not dead. The halls were wide, with thick armored walls. Strange machines lined the sides, some still glowing. Lights flickered on, one by one, as if the ship was waking up. "This place is empty," one soldier said. But then they saw something that stopped them in their tracks. Earth. Symbols, flags, names, words, pictures, photos of human families. Old medals, children's drawings, all neatly placed in glass cases along the walls. A strange silence filled the team. "This ship? It's a museum," someone whispered. "No," Varn said. "It's a tomb." They reached the main control room. Still no life signs, no crew, just machines. Then a loud hum filled the air. A hologram appeared in front of them. It was a human. It's a man in dark armor, standing tall. His face was strong, but tired. His voice was calm. "If you are seeing this, and the galaxy remembers us. Again, I am Commander Elias Rourke, last of Earth's Fleet Command." The Drexian crew froze. "I do not know who you are," the hologram continued, "but I know you watched us die. You watched Earth burn. You called us dangerous." He stepped forward. "You were right." The lights grew brighter. The ship came alive. Screens lit up. Maps appeared. Red circles showed council planets, military stations, fleet paths, everything. The humans had once known. "You tried to erase us," Rourke said, "but we learned. We adapted. We built this ship not for revenge, but as a message." His voice became sharper. "You can kill humans, but you cannot erase what we are. We are memory. We are fury. We are survival." The hologram ended. The room fell silent. And then something unexpected happened. A new sound echoed from the back of the ship. "A heartbeat, Captain." Varn followed the sound. Deep in the ship's core they found it. ACRYO-pod. Inside was a human man. Still alive, still sleeping. Name tag: Commander Elias Rourke. The crew stared. The hologram wasn't just a message. He's real. Captain Varn activated his command. "This is Varn. We found a human, alive, sleeping inside the ship." "What are your orders?" Static, no reply. Then the pod lights turned green. The human's eyes opened, back on Zarkith Prime. The Alien Council watched in horror as live feed from the Whisper went black. No signal, no video, no sound, just like the first. "Scout team." The High Elder's voice was shaking. "Did we wake him up?" General Zarn stood slowly, eyes wide. "No," he said. "He woke up on his own." Far away, inside the HSS Revenge, Commander Rourke stepped out of his CRYO-pod. His breath was heavy. His eyes were full of fire. He looked at the aliens in front of him, confused at first, then angry. He spoke one word. a word that made the Drexians freeze in place. Traitors. Commander Elias Rourke stood in silence. The cold air from his cryopod still clung to his skin. He looked around the room slowly at the metal walls, the blinking lights, and the 5 alien soldiers pointing weapons at him. His face was calm. His voice was sharper than steel. "You're not supposed to be here." Captain Vaughn raised his weapon. "Stay where you are, human." Rourke didn't move. He looked at the aliens carefully, studying their armor, their species, their fear. "You're Drexian soldiers," he said. "Still serving the Zarkith Council, I see." "How do you know us?" Vaughn asked. "I fought your kind 200 years ago," Rourke replied. "You wore different armor then. You were just as scared." The Drexian crew looked at each other. Their fingers tightened around their weapons. "Don't come any closer," Vaughn warned. Rourke took a step forward. "I don't need to fight you," he said. "This ship will do that for me." Suddenly, the walls began to hum. The lights turned red. The floor beneath them shifted. And energy pulses moved along the walls like veins coming alive. The ship recognized its commander. "Stand down," Rourke said, "or the ship will defend itself." On Zarkith Prime, the Council was watching. They had regained a weak signal from inside the HSS Revenge. The video feed was shaky, but clear enough to show a living human awake, walking and speaking with authority. The Council chamber was in chaos. Who is he? How did he survive? How is the ship still working? General Zarn stepped forward and spoke quietly. "Commander Elias Rourke. He was one of Earth's last war heroes. He disappeared during the final battle near the Titan Belt." High Elder Corps shouted. "He's a ghost from the past. He's dangerous." Exarn didn't blink. "He's more than that. He's a symbol. The last soldier of a forgotten empire." Back inside the ship, Varn's team had lowered their weapons. Rourke walked to the control panel and placed his hand on a glowing surface. The ship responded instantly. A voice echoed through the hall. "Commander." "Ah." Resuit. NIZEHSS. Revenge Online. The entire ship began to shift. Weapon systems unlocked. Engines hummed. Shields powered up. "What is your mission?" Varn asked cautiously. Rourke looked at him. "My mission was to wake when the galaxy was safe, or when Earth called me back." He paused. "But I received no call, just ... silence." Varn stepped closer. "Earth is gone. You were the last." Rourke's eyes narrowed. "No," he said. "Earth may be silent, but I can still feel them. My people are out there, somewhere." He turned and looked out the large viewing window, and, if not, then I will find out who erased them. The Drexians followed Rourke through the ship as he explored. The halls showed signs of old battle's blast marks, torn walls, burned-out doors. Rourke moved through them like a man walking through memories. "This ship was built after the fall," he explained, "by the last engineers of Earth, not for revenge, but for memory." He touched the wall gently. "This ship is everything we were and everything we still are." In the war chamber, Rourke activated a full galactic map. It showed old Earth colonies, destroyed battlefields, and the current position of the Zarkith Council planets. He saw something that made his eyes widen. One small dot. Blinking blue, a hidden human signal, faint, weak, but real. He stared at it for a long time. "Survivors," he whispered. "Captain Vaughn saw the two. What will you do now?" Rourke smiled for the first time. "I'm going to find them." The Council watched the signal from the warship change direction. It was no longer heading toward Zarkith Prime. It was moving toward the edge of the galaxy toward the old dead zones where no species dared go. "Where is he going?" Elder Threx asked. General Zarn answered. "He's looking for home." "Hey." Elder Corps slammed his fist on the table. "Stop him. If humans survived, they must not rise again." But not all council members agreed. Some were silent, some were afraid, and some were curious. Was humanity really the monster they feared? Or had they been the victims all along? As the HSS Revenge turned and vanished into deep space, Rourke, sat in the captain's chair for the first time in 200 years. The ship spoke again. Course locked. Engines online. Human signal detected. He whispered to himself. If even one of us is still alive, they'll know they're not alone anymore. In the cold silence of deep space, something moved. It was slow, silent, massive. A dark object floated near the edge of the galactic core. No signal came from it. No sound, no light. But every sensor in that region picked it up. It was not a planet, not a moon, and not space debris. It was a ship, the Zarkath Alliance. The oldest and most powerful alien council in the galaxy was the first to notice the strange object. Their scientists called it an anomaly. Their generals called it a threat. It was not registered in any known database, and it was heading straight for the center of the galaxy. Inside the council hall of Zarkith Prime, alarms rang. Leaders from 17 different alien races gathered quickly. Air was filled with tension. High Elder Core of the Kelnari race stood tall. His silver eyes stared at the hologram of the unknown ship. "What is it?" he asked in a cold voice. The science officer replied, We don't know, High Elder. It is unlike anything we've ever seen. The materials are unknown. The size is far larger than any ship ever built. How large? The room fell silent for a second. The officer cleared his throat. 12 kilometers long, 3 kilometers wide, carries no life signs, no energy signature, and it does not respond to any communication. A heavy silence covered the room. "That's not a ship," whispered Elder Threx of the Vern Dominion. "That's a message." Another elder, one with scars across his face, stood slowly. "It's human," he said. All eyes turned to him. "Impossible," someone said. "Humans are extinct." The scarred elder, General Zarn of the Greyland species, looked straight ahead. "I fought in the human purge 200 years ago. I saw their ships, their tech, their fury. This is human design." The council broke into chaos. Humans were wiped out. They couldn't have survived. They had no allies left. They're supposed to be gone forever. But the warship in front of them told a different story. It was real. It was moving, and it looked like it had come back for something, in a far sector. A scout ship from the Zarkith Navy approached the unknown object. Captain Larocque, a calm and experienced pilot, activated the ship's scanners. Still no response. His crewman said nervously, "Try again," Larocque ordered. The ship sent out a second hail, then a third. Nothing came back. The giant object just drifted silently through space. "It's watching us," one of the crew whispered suddenly. All screens on the scout ship turned black. Then one by one, strange Earth symbols appeared, words in a language none of them knew. And then a voice. "You shouldn't have come, Captain." Lorik's eyes widened. "Translate that now." But before they could, their systems shut down completely. The scout ship vanished from the Zarkith Council's tracking systems. Gone. No wreckage. No signals. No escape pods. Just silence. Back in the council hall, fear was rising. High Elder Core slammed his fist on the table. "We need to destroy it, before it reaches us." "But what if it's a trap?" asked another. "What if more are coming? What if humans never really left?" General Zarn looked into the distance, remembering the old war. The humans had fought like nothing the galaxy had ever seen. Brave, angry, fearless, they had no mercy for traitors. And now maybe they had returned. "Send no more ships," Zarn warned. "Not yet. First, we watch. Let us see what this human ship does." "But why would humans send only one ship?" someone asked. No one had an answer. But deep in space, the warship slowly changed course. It turned quietly toward Zarkith Primed, the heart of the alien alliance. The message was clear. They were not just drifting, they were coming. And the council finally understood. This was not just a warship, it was a warning. The alien council room was quiet, but not calm. It was the kind of silence that comes before a storm. All 17 alien leaders had seen the same thing: a human warship, long thought impossible. A ship from a race that should not exist anymore. A ship that had just made their best scout team disappear. High Elder Kor looked around the room, his long robe dragging on the floor as he stood. This is a clear threat. The humans were destroyed 200 years ago. This ship is either a trick or a challenge. General Zarn, the old warrior with deep scars, stood slowly. "It's not a trick," he said. "That is a human ship. Built with Earth metal, Earth design, and Earth pride. And if it is here, then they're not gone." "Not at all," many elders shouted at once. "They can't be alive. They had no allies left. We watched their world burn." But General Zarn raised his hand. "You watched from far away. I was there. I saw their cities fall. I saw their last soldiers fight until their bones broke. And still, they did not surrender." He paused. "I don't fear many things, but I fear the return of mankind." In the shadows of the chamber, whispers began to spread. Some council members were afraid. Others were curious. Few even felt something strange, something like guilt. Elder Threx of the Vern Dominion spoke next. "We must talk to it, not attack. Maybe it's a message. Maybe it's a mistake." High Elder Kor slammed his hand on the table. "No, this is a test. If we don't act now, they will return in numbers." Another leader, Elder Ralith of the Swarm Mind, clicked her mandibles. "Perhaps they already have. What if more ships are hidden, cloaked, waiting for our reaction?" That idea brought a chill to the room. What if this one warship was not alone? In the war chamber, a hologram of the ship hovered in the center. It had no weapons activated. It was not firing. It just moved slowly, calmly, as if it knew exactly where it was going. A scientist entered the chamber. His face looked pale. "Just completed a full scan. There are no signs of life on board." "What do you mean?" High Elder Kor asked. "No life. No crew, no movement, but there's power. The ship is active." General Zarn stepped forward. "It's an AI ship. Doesn't need a crew," another council member added. "It could be a message left behind by the last humans. A final warning." "Why now?" Elder Threx asked. "Why after 200 years?" That question hung heavy in the air. Behind closed doors, smaller meetings began. Secret talks, hidden deals. Some council members believed peace was the answer. Some wanted to strike first, and some were hiding the truth. A few leaders knew something that the others didn't. Not all humans had died in the war. A small group had escaped into deep space, using stolen tech and cloaking fields. That secret was buried long ago to protect the Council's power. If those humans had returned, the entire galaxy could change. General Zarn met quietly with Elder Threx in a dark chamber. "We cannot fight them," Zarn said. "You said they were strong but not unbeatable," Threx replied. Zarn looked him in the eye. "One human ship destroyed our best fleet at the Battle of Red Suns. One, they think different. They don't quit. They use fear as a weapon." He leaned closer. "They are not like us." "That ship is not just a threat, it's a promise," Threx whispered. "What do we do?" Zarn answered, "We wait. We listen. And if they speak, we better listen carefully." The council finally voted. 8 races voted for war. 7 voted for peace. 2 remained silent. The decision: observe the ship, but prepare all fleets for battle. In secret, ships began to move. Weapons charged. Codes were sent to hidden stations, but the human ship did not stop. It kept moving, slow and steady. Toward Zarkith, primed the heart of the council, and as it moved, it sent a signal. Only one word in. The old human tongue, no one could translate it, except for General Zarn. He stared at the word on the screen. His face went pale. The word was, "Remember." The stars lit up with warships. The council fleet had finally made its move. Dozens of ships flew through deep space. heading straight for the last known location of the human warship, HSS Revenge. Their orders were simple: engage, destroy, erase the human echo. But they were already too late. Commander Elias Rourke had left the frozen outpost, and he was not alone anymore across the galaxy. Hidden ships from the last war fleet had begun to move. Some were small, scouts, frigates. Others were massive silent giants, built for war but never used. Now, they answered Rourke's signal, and they came with one message: humanity remembers, aboard the Revenge. Commander Rourke stood in the control room. Watching the galaxy's map, red dots showed enemy fleets. Blue dots showed humans awakening. The numbers were still low, but growing. "We are outnumbered," Captain Varn said, standing beside him. "They have over 60 ships," Rourke nodded, "but they don't know what we can do." In the armory room, engineers worked quickly. Old weapons were reactivated. Missiles, lasers, railguns. Earth's lost technology came back to life. The ship's AI reported, weapons online, shield grid charged, defense system ready. The human survivors on board prepared for battle. Many had never fought before. Some were children when the war ended, but they stood strong. Because they had something the Council ships didn't: a reason to fight. On the edge of Sector 9, the first battle began. 3 Council destroyers jumped into the system. The Revenge waited for them. It's quiet and still. The destroyers sent out a warning: "This is Admiral Reeler of the Zarkath Council. Powered down and prepared to be destroyed." Rourke's voice replied over comms, "No." The Council ships opened fire: plasma cannons, missiles, EMP, bursts. All aimed at the human ship. But something strange happened. The missiles stopped. Mid-air, the plasma beams bent away, and the Revenge was untouched. "What just happened?" Reeler asked. The answer came too fast. The Revenge fired once, just once, and the lead Council ship disappeared. No explosion, no debris, just gone. Panic hit the Council fleet. These weapons defy physics. They're using anti-space tech. Pull back. Pull. Another ship vanished. And then the third. In under 10 seconds, battle ended. The humans had not taken damage. The Council had lost 3 warships back at Zarkath Prime. The Council was in chaos. They've developed weapons we don't understand. They're not just surviving, they're evolving. We must use full force. But Elder Threx stood and shouted, "Don't you see? We lied to the galaxy. We painted them as monsters. Now they show mercy, and we keep pushing them to war." Elder Kor growled. "Mercy means weakness," General Zarn said coldly. "No, mercy means control." Meanwhile, news of the human victory spread across alien systems. Citizens from neutral planets started questioning the Council. Were humans really the villains? Why did the Council hide the old war records? What if the humans were right all along? On the Revenge, Rourke did something unexpected. He opened a public channel to the galaxy. The hologram of his face was broadcast across thousands of systems. His voice was steady, calm, powerful. "I am Commander Elias Rourke. Of Earth, I do not come with an army. I come with the truth. We were betrayed. We were hunted. We were almost erased, but we never gave up. If you believe in freedom, if you believe in justice, then don't fight us. Join us." The message shook the galaxy. Some fleets paused their orders. Some soldiers refused to fire. Some planets declared neutrality. Others whispered something terrifying. Maybe it's time the Council fell. The Council knew what was coming. They launched their biggest fleet, over 100 ships, led by a massive command cruiser called the Spear of Judgment. Its job: destroy Rourke. No survivors. But Rourke was not afraid. He gathered all human ships. Near a red dwarf star, 10 ships, small compared to the ICO's 100, but each one built for a final war. Inside them, old AI cores woke up. Old captains came out of cryosleep. The last war. The fleet was ready. Rourke stood on the bridge of the Revenge, watching the stars. Captain Varn stood beside him not as an enemy, but now as an ally. "They're coming," Varn said. Rourke smiled. "Let them come." He turned to the crew. "This is not just a battle. This is our return." The galaxy held its breath. From one end of the stars to the other, every screen, every sensor, every watcher stared at the space near the red dwarf star. This was where it would happen. The last battle. The final stand of mankind. The Council's armada arrived first. Over 100 warships, forming a steel wall in space. Their weapons glowed. Engines roared. Their command ship, the massive Spear of Judgment, floated at the front, armed with planet-killer missiles and a full fleet of fighters. "This ends now," growled High Admiral Rilar. "Humanity must be erased completely." But across the battlefield, only 10 ships waited, just 10. Old scarred, human Commander Elias Rourke stood tall aboard the HSS Revenge, his face calm, his voice steady. "All ships report." One by one the voices came through. "HSS Valiant, ready. HSS Ember, ready. HSS Ghostlight, systems green." "Fleet standing by, Commander." Rourke looked out at the Council's fleet. He could see their numbers, their strength. But he saw something else to call in fear. Back on Zarkith Prime, the alien council watched in silence. "Why are they not retreating?" Elder Threx whispered. "They're outnumbered 10-1. General Zarn stared at the screen. "Because they've already won." Council Armada sent out its final warning: power down, surrender, or be destroyed. Rourke responded with just 3 words: "We are home." Then the stars exploded into war. The Council fleet moved like a wave missiles, plasma bolts, energy cannons lighting up the dark. But the human ships moved like ghosts, faster, smarter, deadlier. Each Earth ship carried weapons lost to time, built from technologies the Council never understood. Railguns that bent gravity, cloaked drones, AI targeting smarter than any alien machine, and something else. They fought like they had nothing left to lose, because they didn't. The HSS Ghostlight darted through 3 cruisers, slicing their hulls with precision beams. The Ember launched, a cluster of magnetic warheads that disabled 5 Council destroyers in seconds. Even the small HSS Warden, built as a scout, managed to bring down a battlecruiser by hacking its shield array from inside. But the Council was strong. The humans began to take hits. One ship lost its engines, another. HSS Solace was torn apart by heavy fire. Inside the Revenge, Rourke gave the order: activate Protocol Iron Sky. From deep inside the Earth ships, hidden modules opened, dozens of automated drones launched, not to destroy, but to broadcast across the galaxy. Every planet, every screen, every network lit up. The humans didn't just fight with weapons. They fought with truth. Old files, videos, testimonies, secret council plans, hidden attacks, evidence of betrayal. The lies were ending. The truth was out, and the galaxy watched it all live. On neutral planets, riots broke out. Citizens turned against their local council governors. Former allies of the council began to stand down. Some even joined the humans. And on Zarkith Prime, the council chamber fell into chaos. "They're turning the people against us. Shut down the feed. We've lost control." But it was too late. The truth had won. Back in space, the Spear of Judgment aimed all its weapons at the Revenge. "If we take down their leader, the fleet will fall." Admiral Rilar shouted, "Fire everything." Hundreds of missiles launched. The Revenge took damage. Hull breaches, system warnings, flames. Rourke held onto the rail as the ship shook. Then he looked at Captain Varn. "I need you to do something," Rourke said. "What?" "Take the survivors. Leave the battlefield. Tell the story. Keep it alive." Varn shook his head. "You won't survive this," Rourke smiled. "I'm not supposed to." As the Council's final weapons closed in, Rourke gave his last command: "All remaining ships, target the Spear of Judgment. Full burn, full power. We end this now." One by one, the human ships formed up, burning, bleeding, but still flying, and together, the battle became a storm. The Revenge pushed forward, shields melting, its weapons blazing. The Spear of Judgment fired its last missile, but it never hit. The Revenge rammed straight into it. A silent flash, a burning core, and then silence. The battlefield was empty. Smoke drifted in space. The human ships gone. The Council fleet shattered, but in every corner of the galaxy, people watched the last transmission from Elias Rourke. We are not ghosts. We are not stories. We are not your enemy. We are human. We are home. Weeks later, the Council collapsed. War trials began, new alliances formed, and from the ashes, new banner rose. Not of conquest, but of hope, a symbol of Earth, of resistance, of truth, and among the stars whispers spread. They were only 10 ships, they were outnumbered, and still, they won, because humanity had never truly left. It had only been waiting, watching, and when the time came it remembered. The human warship, HSS Revenge, moved like a ghost through deep space. Commander Elias Rourke sat in the captain's chair, staring at the blinking blue signal on the screen. It was small, weak, but human. He had thought Earth was gone. He had thought he was the last. But now, he had hope. Inside the warship, the Drexian boarding team sat quietly, unsure of what to do. Their weapons were down. They were not prisoners. But they were not allies either. Captain Varn looked at Rourke. What happens if you find the source of that signal? Rourke didn't look away from the screen. If it's survivors, I'll protect them. And if it's a trap? Varn asked. Rourke smiled faintly. Then I'll remind the galaxy why they feared humans in the first place. As the ship flew, the AI replayed an old archive, memory file. Rourke let it play. A young woman appeared on the screen in Earth's General. Her voice was strong, but her eyes were tired. Commander Rourke, if you're seeing this, Earth is gone. The Council turned on us. They feared our power. They called us dangerous. And so, they destroyed us. Behind her, the sky was full of fire. Earth's orbit was burning. We couldn't save the planet. But we saved you. Rourke's hands tightened into fists. The memory continued. The HSS Revenge was our last ship, our last hope. You were put in cryo-sleep until the time was right, until someone, something, triggered your return. We don't know what future you'll wake into. But if you survive, remember this. Humanity is not dead. It is hiding, waiting, rebuilding. The screen turned black. Captain Varn watched Rourke silently. You lost everything, he said. I lost my world, Rourke replied, but not my mission. He stood. There were other ships, he said. Others like this one, maybe smaller, maybe damaged. But we sent out more than one. Captain Varn frowned. The last war fleet. Rourke nodded. Yes, the last fleet. Of Earth, we scattered it across the galaxy, cloaked, hidden, waiting for a signal. Varn asked, and if they wake up too? Rourke looked out the window. Then the stars will shake again. Back on Zarkith Prime. The Council was panicking. More human signals had started appearing on long-range scanners. Faint energy spikes. Unknown codes? Strange ship movements near forgotten star systems. The Council's top advisor burst into the chamber. We just found an old Earth base. Still active? Still broadcasting? High Elder Core shouted, Send destroyers. Wipe it. Out. But Elder Threx raised a hand. What if we push too hard? What if there are more human ships waiting? General Zarin stepped forward. There are, he said. Everyone turned to him. I fought them. I watched them disappear. But they were too smart to die. The humans planned for everything, even for extinction, the Council argued. Some wanted war, some wanted peace, some just wanted to run, but deep inside they all knew the humans had never stopped fighting. They had only paused, and now they were waking up. Back on the HSS Revenge, the ship reached the coordinates of the signal. A small, rocky planet appeared at first. There was nothing, just dead land and frozen wind. But then, a panel on Rourke's screen flashed. Signal locked. Human beacon underground. Rourke activated the landing pod. "I'm going down," he said. Captain Varn stood. "I'm coming." "With you." They stepped onto the frozen surface. The air was thin, the sky dark, but beneath the rocks, a small hatch opened. Inside, a bunker. Lights flickered on, and in the shadows, figures moved thin, tired, but human eyes, wide. Weapons shaky. A voice spoke. "Who are you?" Rourke stepped forward, hands raised. "I'm Commander Rourke, Earth Fleet. I came back." The humans looked at each other in shock. One of them, a woman with gray hair, stepped closer. Earth is alive." Rourke smiled. "No, but we are." The survivors cried, hugged, fell to the ground. After all these years, they had been found. Captain Varn watched from the side, quiet and unsure. He had never seen such emotion, such loyalty. These humans had lost their world, their homes, their people, but they still believed in one thing: each other. Later, Rourke stood at the edge of the bunker, looking up at the stars. One of the survivors came to him. "There are more like us," she said. "Scattered, hiding, waiting for a sign." Rourke nodded. "They just got it." He opened his comms ship. "Begin broadcasting." Code Blacklight. Code confirmed. The ship's AI responded. Message sent. Across the galaxy. In dead zones and silent systems. Other ships began to stir. Engines, EPSU, MED. Dot lights flickered on, and one by one, the last war fleet awoke. The stars were no longer quiet. Across the galaxy, something was waking up. Old human ships lost, hidden, buried under ice, or locked inside asteroids, began to move. Their engines turned on. Their systems blinked too. Life. The last war fleet was not just a story. It was real, and it had just received its signal. Code Blacklight. On Zarketh Prime, alarms screamed inside the council tower. 5:10. 17 human signals detected. A tech officer reported, panicked. "They're waking up everywhere. Deep space, dark sectors, abandoned war zones." High Elder Corps slammed the table. "This is an invasion." Elder Threx stood slowly, for a return. General Zarn said nothing. He just stared at the growing red dots on the galactic map. Each one, a human ship from the past. Each one, a ghost from the war they thought they had won. "Rourke has lit the fire," Zarn finally said, "and now the galaxy will burn." The frozen outpost planet Rourke stood with the survivors. Behind him, the HSS Revenge floated quietly in orbit. The survivors were still in shock. Some hadn't seen a human warship in over 100 years. A child stepped forward, her voice small. "Are you from Earth?" Rourke knelt down. "Yes, and so are you." She smiled for the first time in her life. Captain Varn stood beside Rourke. As he watched the humans prepare to leave the bunker, "You're really doing this?" Varn asked. "Bringing humans back into the galaxy?" Rourke looked at him. "We never left. You just forgot us." Varn didn't reply. For the first time, he didn't see humans as monsters. He saw them as survivors, as the survivors boarded. The Revenge, the ship detected something. A council fleet was approaching fast. 10 warships. Fully armed, enemy ships detected, the AI said calmly. "Will they attack?" One survivor asked. Rourke's voice was steady. "If they do, we defend, but not to destroy." He looked at his reflection in the window. Not yet. On the lead council ship, Admiral Reeler watched the human warship on his screen. "It's not attacking," his officer said. Reeler growled. That doesn't mean it's weak." But then, something strange happened. A new signal appeared. It was a message, not in an alien language, in galactic standard. so everyone could read it. We remember, we forgive, but we do not forget.
Out.
We are not here for war. We are here for the truth. The council ships didn't fire, not yet. Back on the Revenge, Captain Varn turned to Rourke. What truth are you talking about? Rourke sat. Down at the command table, a large file opened on the screen. Classified records, secret reports, council betrayal. This, Rourke said, pointing at the screen. This is what they tried to hide. During the last days of the war, they bombed Earth cities using our own allies. They used forbidden tech. They broke every treaty and blamed it all on us. Varn's eyes widened. You have proof? Nodded. This ship carries the last data core from Earth Command. It's all here. Everything the galaxy forgot, or was forced to forget. As the Council fleet held position, the message continued. To all species. To all worlds. Humanity was not the enemy. We were betrayed, and we survived. Members began to doubt. Some began to listen. In far space. Other hidden human colonies received the broadcast. A small group of engineers in a desert moon outpost cried. When they heard the voice, an old soldier, living among aliens in disguise, stood tall for the first time in decades. Children, who never knew Earth, asked questions their parents never wanted to answer. The echo of Earth was spreading back on Zarketh Prime. The Council was in crisis. This message will turn the galaxy. Against us, Elder Threx warned. We should have crushed them when we had the chance, Kor growled. General Zarn finally spoke. You had your chance, he said coldly. And you failed. They didn't return with an army. It's just one ship. One man. And still we are afraid. On the Revenge, the humans looked at Rourke. What now? Rourke stood. Now, we find the others. We rebuild. We speak the truth. He turned to Captain Varn. You saw what they did? Will you help us? Varn hesitated and nodded once. I came here as your enemy, he said, but I'll leave as your witness. And so, the first human warship in 200 years entered hyperspace, not to attack, but to tell the truth. Behind it, more signals began to move. The galaxy was no longer silent. Earth's echo was now a storm.